Derek, thank you very much for joining us on the Opollo podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. So, just so everyone who's joining us, if they haven't heard about you or what you do you mind giving us a little bit of an overview of who you are and what brings you to the podcast today?
Yeah. Derek Morgan. Referral Marketing Ideas is my brand, and I created the referral marketing formula, and that basically came after 30 years of being beat up in sales and having to grow my own sales pipelines with not much sales in the way of sales qualified leads coming through marketing. Sorry, all the marketing people out there, but I've really had to go and do the hard yards and build networks and build my own sales pipelines within financial services and startup tech and scale up tech and enterprise tech. So it was those experiences that sort of led me to really refine what was working for me in all of those roles, and then how could I help other salespeople not have to go through some of the pain that I was going through in building pipeline.
Yeah, so you're kind of like the guru. It sounds like you're the guru for sales pipeline optimization. Would you say that's your core value proposition, or where would you say that your specialty lies?
I think it's simpler than that. It's about unlocking the hidden value that sits within our existing networks and relationships within our existing customer bases. I think one of the things that we see in the marketplace, and an article you posted the other week on LinkedIn really resonated in and around this. There's a lot of noise out there in the marketplace. There's a lot of focus around complex marketing campaigns that are outside the control of the salesperson necessarily, and it's all based on cold outreach or inbound at scale. And the big missing opportunity for most businesses is the gold or the value that's sitting in their existing networks. How do they unlock the relationships they have to get more referrals and do it in a way that is consistent, duplicatable and scalable?
Yeah.
That's the bit people miss.
Why do you think people don't get the opportunity? Are they just afraid to ask, or they just don't know what to do? What's the biggest issue there from... Because, we all have networks, and it's like, is that people are just afraid to say, hey, can you help me out? Or what do you think is the biggest hurdle that people are having challenges with?
Well, there's a couple of things when they're out business networking. They're looking for their next deal, and they're looking for, random people at networking events to connect them up with the potential next new client. Yeah. So they're asking the wrong questions and they're looking for the wrong things in networking. So the other thing that makes it really hard for salespeople going out and networking is because they're sort of on that front foot in selling mode, people are pushing back.
Yeah.
There's a couple of mindset shifts. If they start to go to networking events looking for referral partners, and you need to know what a good referral partner looks like, and then you go to that event with a value proposition that adds value to a referral partner, then they're going to naturally introduce you to their network. So instead of getting a one-to-one connection or a word-of-mouth referral, you now have a system or process that you can go out, have a really intelligent conversation with a potential referral partner in a way that's going to go, I need to be working with Stephen because he's adding value to my business. Therefore, I should be introducing more of my clients to him.
Do you have an approach to referral marketing? Obviously you do, but how would you start the process, like when you're engaging someone at one of these events?
Well, it starts well before the event or before a conversation. It doesn't need to be an event. It could be just a quarterly business review, catch up with a client. How do you have a constructive conversation with that client that opens up their other vendor networks, their other supplier networks, their other advisor networks? And it's ridiculously simple when you start to really focus on how to do it and the what. So I guess and I've run down a rabbit warren and deviated from your question there. But the thing is with partnerships is when you're having a conversation with a referral partner, it's like, what can I do for you, Stephen, that's useful and valuable to your business and support you in either your go-to market or your customer success or your nurturing process? Because if I can add value to your core business operations in some way, shape or form, then you're going to take me into lots of conversations. So it comes down to having a framework, and that's what the referral marketing formula is. So I finally made it back to your question. It's a framework and a model for you to actually go and be really focused on what's an ideal referral partner for you, because referral partners lead you into lots of your ideal client relationships. What's your value proposition to that referral partner that gets them excited about working with you, but more importantly, engaging with you consistently, and therefore engaging you with their clients consistently.
Yeah, great.
And that's the difference between referral marketing as a strategy that's duplicatable and scalable versus getting referrals, which is word of mouth marketing, which is not systemized, it's ad hoc, it's not predictable.
Do you have any examples of how the system would work, or like companies that you've the journey of how that would actually look from like an event to building a relationship?
Well, let's look at how it's not working right now in most businesses.
Yeah.
And then I'll show you the example of how it didn't work, how it was set up properly, didn't work, and then did work in a technology business. So when I was doing some fractional business development for a startup SaaS company, I introduced a large tech company to a consulting partner, sat them around a boardroom, got everyone in the room to agree that these two groups were well aligned and they should form a partnership and be working together. I walked out of that room. 2 years later, I went to actually work in that technology company, sat down in their multi-million-dollar CRM, found the partner contact that I'd introduced to them. In that 2 years, there'd been donuts. Nothing had happened between those two. I went and had 2 coffees with the consultant. Within 6 months, that business wrote $11.2 million. So $5.6 million per coffee. That was just focus and follow-up, right? So lots of businesses have lots of great connections in their network, in their CRM, but they're not being strategic about how they're looking at them. They're not focusing on them, and then they're not being strategic about how they add value to the client, add more value to the client, add value to the referral partner in a way that actually gets them engaging effectively. So it's the focus and follow-up is probably the biggest problem that I see in the marketplace. So if we go back to that example, that 2 years of not following up between that tech company and that potential referral partner, there's an opportunity cost there of $44 million.
Wow.
Now, those opportunity costs are sitting inside every B2B business right now, but nobody's looking for them. Nobody has a process for identifying what that opportunity cost is, and therefore they're not focused on creating a framework, an approach, and a model, a conversation piece to unlock that value. So with all of this focus on AI outbound this and inbound marketing, I'm not saying don't do them, but the gap in the middle is this. Now that we've got a connection through cold outreach, now that we've got a connection through inbound, got these client bases, what are we doing that's systematically getting us to focus on unlocking and extending the value of those existing connections and relationships?
Let's say you have a database of quite 1,000 contacts in there. Would you treat this as a one-on-one, account-based approach, or is there a way to mass scale this? So how do you typically approach that type of approach if you're coming in cold into a new business?
If I'm coming in cold to a new business, we're not looking at the cold list necessarily. It's like, start with your existing clients. Your existing clients, pick your top 3 best clients. Your top 3 best clients, or their entire supplier, vendor, advisor network is a pathway to your next best client, because whoever they're working with, they have, those vendors, suppliers, advisors have another large network of people that look just like your best client.
Yeah.
So it's about how do you set up a framework to go and have a simple conversation with your client that leads to an introduction to other vendors, suppliers in their community, and then what's your value proposition to those people when you're going to have a conversation with them that they go, I want to work with Stephen and Opollo, and Stephen and Apollo's just given me a really clear framework of how they do that. and they're demonstrating value that's important to me as a business. So therefore, why wouldn't I work with Stephen, or at least have that conversation? And because you've been introduced in by an existing client, there's that borrowed trust. To your point earlier, it just speeds everything up, right? That borrowed trust means that you're going around gatekeepers, not through them. You're getting to the decision makers super fast and in a trusted way, and then the sales cycles speed up, price sensitivity drops. All right. So there's huge value in it, but not enough focus.
Yeah, okay, great. So, I mean, without asking all your secret sauce, I mean, what would you do? Say someone had a really good referral network and they had a couple of big clients. What would they actually do? Like, how do they build a value proposition without, because it's a bit daunting to go in and ask a client, hey, can you help me out, without having a value proposition for them. So what would you do in that regard?
Yeah, well, you've got a step-by-step formula that you can access through referral marketing ideas. We'll give you the model and the frameworks. It's then just go and focus on each of the core components of the formula, and it's about being really clear on who your ideal customer is to start with. That then leads you to who's your ideal referral partner. And I know you've got a big footprint and a big presence in the managed service provider industry. It's like, well, they're always looking for other vendors to be their referral partner. Yeah. But the vendor has 1,000 clients that look just like that MSP. So they need to be looking outside of their traditional ecosystem for referral partners, and then look at what's the value proposition that you can then add to that particular partner. Is it an accountant? Is it a financial planner? Is it whoever it is? It's like, what is the value proposition that you can create? There's a framework and a formula and a methodology for doing that, and I can provide some free GPT links. We can drop some links in the show notes here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
To give you actually the tools to go and answer those questions. So the first thing is, who's the partner that you're looking to connect with? What's important to them? And then how do you become part of that solution to that problem? When you can answer that, you've got your value proposition. It then becomes very easy for your sales team to go and actually have conversations with potential referral partners in a very non-threatening way for the referral partner, because you're not looking to sell them anything. You're looking to lead with value and give them something that's important to them. And the consequence of that is that they are introducing you to their clients.
The BNI networking group? Yeah.
Yes.
What it kind of sounds like is you're actually enabling people to become their own BNI without having to get up at 5 o'clock every morning once a week to go to one of these networking events. That's
a good analogy. But you're becoming a center of influence. When you take that approach, you're becoming a trusted advisor. So you're no longer just the managed service provider who has Microsoft products, just like every other MSP has Microsoft products. Now you're not only the supplier of cybersecurity and whatever technology services you specialize in, but hey, my MSP introduced me to 3 new clients last year.
Yeah.
Do you think that makes you more valuable than any other supplier or advisor that's actually not connecting them up with opportunities?
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good approach, because what you've just got me thinking about is we don't have to focus too much on our clients, but MSPs, there's two types of MSPs. You have the MSPs who, or we could just call them, don't have to be an MSP, it could just be a IT integrator, and they're moving into what you call the TSP, technology service provider approach, or the MSP approach, where, on the MSP side, their IT support, they're supporting the technology. Then you've got this big movement that's coming now, which is the TSP side, which is actually transforming your business and being a leader in technology. And I'm seeing those two camps, and I'm like, well, your approach really aligns with, is it James Davies, who does a lot of that stuff around the TSP approach as well? How can we enable this company to grow? Because right now, if you look at the way of the market, a lot of businesses, especially here in Australia, I mean, US is leading the way around AI, but a lot of businesses need to find ways to make more revenue, right? Or do more with less. And when I look at MSPs, I'm like, well, you are enabling a lot of that technology for your clients, enabling their growth. And I see it every day. Like, I talk to some MSPs who just want to sell managed services because that pays the bills, right? Keeps the people employed. But then you have the other risk taker MSPs who are out there going, well, I've got professional services, we have skills in AI, automation. We put our money into DevOps, even though DevOps is often a loss leader in these MSPs. But they use that to drive the technology. So where I'm going with this is, I think what you're saying is those TSP type MSPs would actually really well work in this space, who are more open to the risk tolerance and actually driving transformations within their customers. Have you dealt much with the TSP movement that's going on at the moment?
Yeah, James Davis is my number one referrer of opportunities. Funnily, you should mention him, and he connected us up. So, yeah, to your point, that the TSP model is basically extending your value proposition. It's extending your capability to do more and deliver more. As soon as, one of the big challenges moving forward is that AI and automation is commoditizing so many things that, you need to look at your products and services. And if it is a commodity product and service, then that's fine, but you need this TSP advisory model to package other things around that so that you don't become redundant. Otherwise, if you're just a commodity product and service, to your point, there's lots of competition in that space. So how do you differentiate yourself? Part of that differentiation will be the partnership networks and collaborations you build around you to solve other problems for your client that you don't. And again, this plays back into that trusted advisor model, whereby someone's not just coming to you for just technology solutions, they're coming to you for strategic solutions, and or they're coming to you for your partner network, because through your relationships you can solve a whole bunch of other problems, which wraps a moat around your core business as well. When your clients are using a trusted advisor network that you've created for them, then everybody's collaborating together, and you've got this protectionist of not having another vendor supplier coming in to your IT, into your client through some other angle, and then just white-anting your offer out of that, or that client out of your business portfolio.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see that, this could really well align with the whole TSP model. I was just at IT Nation last week, the Australian one, and talking a lot about TSP and, how it's becoming a big part of the advisory, even from ConnectWise. I imagine Kaseya and some of the other big influential organisations out there are pushing it a lot. James Davies was there. I unfortunately missed his workshop, but there's, I think, aligning with what you're talking about is actually is amazing, and seeing that movement move forward. We've kind of gone off track a little bit here, but I think even if you're selling MSP services, I think the referral model that you talk about is actually adds a lot of value. I mean, is there any advice that you would like to give to a budding MSP, or because we don't just do MSPs, we also do integrators, that you would say, like, as a final thought, that that we could get into, or that could help them grow their business? Or could it be get in contact with Derek Morgan, or what would you advise as next steps?
Yeah, the next steps would be, however you do it, focus on what referral partnerships mean for you and your business, and really have a look within your existing network, within your existing client base, because there's revenue and opportunity sitting there that hasn't been unlocked. So whether you do it using the referral marketing formula, we can drop some links into, happy to give listeners access to the referral marketing formula framework and a couple of GPTs to get them started around this process. And we have a partnerships fast start program that we run that helps you design, build, and launch a partnership program in 3 days or less.
Wow.
Right? Because that's the power of automation. Now, is it going to be perfect? No. Don't expect it to be. But what you're going to be is in the market having partnership conversations with clients and potential partners, and then refining your offer so that you do build out this partnership model that is duplicatable and scalable. Right? Once you get to that point, then it means any of your inbound marketing or your cold outreach that you're doing, people that you're connecting with, you've got a more effective nurturing strategy. You've got a more effective engagement strategy. But more importantly, you can then lever the return on ad spend, or by having this referral partner program back-ended that you can roll out and leverage those connections and get free leads that are warm from the work that you're already doing, inbound, outbound, or with existing clients.
Yeah, wow, great. That's actually really good look at it. Well, thank you very much, Derek. Really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much, Derek. Take care.
Cheers, buddy. Bye.
See you, mate. See ya.